Thanks for downloading the resistance training template. Just want to step you through how to use it because there's some really cool things in here for working with clients to make the programming much more effective. So here's the template that you've got, and I just want to jump across to one that's been completed to show you the sort of thing that you might do with it. So here's a program that's been written for John Smith. He's going to be training on a Monday and a Thursday. It's his resistance training program. This one he's kicked off in January and it runs for a month until the 8th of February. Very important to keep the goals in front of the client. So right up the top right hand corner here we've got what the goals of this particular program is, and that's increasing the load, staying between 30 and 40 seconds worth of work in a set to cause hypertrophy. So fundamentally with John, what we're trying to do is to cause hypertrophy in the next month. And that's sort of the phase that he's working towards. So you'll see with this cardiovascular program, we're really just sort of looking to maintain his fitness there and recover from these workouts. So some guidelines then, the next step is time your rest. Okay, really important for clients to time their rest if they are training independently. Obviously with the trainer you'll be keeping an eye on that yourself. And we've got the reason we use guidelines is often the progression that a program has, the true effect of it is through application of those guidelines. So it's not really what the client does the first day they go out and do the program, but it's really how they're driven to progress that program and use it over the period of the month. So time your rest, that means he's not going to be resting too long, so in terms of hypertrophy he's going to be getting the required overload. Increase load as soon as you can do the required sets. That's 8 reps at the tempo prescribed. So we'll have a look at this prescription in here, but you can see again within the guidelines it relates directly to the prescription. Increase the load by 5 kilograms or the lowest step each time you progress. In other words, if the plates have got 10 pounds or 5 kilograms or something on them, then that's fine. We'll just do plate by plate steps for those that are pin loaded machines. If it's a squat, for instance, in a free weight, we'll just pop it up by 5 kg. Now the main reason for this, for someone like John is an imaginary client and he's sort of come in to be a client of a personal trainer, but he hasn't done a lot of training before, and so you're a little bit concerned if he takes a big jump in load. You'd rather see him just taking these smaller incremental steps more often, so you've included that in the guidelines. Aim for at least 2 progressions each workout. In other words, out of these 6 exercises, in each workout that he does, a couple of these should be able to go up. Now this is really important because this is where the progression, I mean basically when you're training someone, as they get fitter, the work that was prescribed for them in the first instance becomes less and less. So if you don't prescribe progressions, you're really asking them to take it easy and go backwards, which as personal trainers we very rarely do. So there's just some sort of client management within the guidelines there that we can write in, and that's what that section's for. Warm up for John, we're doing a circuit based warm up of free squats, walking lunges, push-ups and supine body rows, which is sort of lying underneath obviously the pull bar, and then some high pulley rows to mobilize the upper quadrant of his back. We're getting him to do them as continuously as possible, so he's obviously in reasonable nick, and we want him to get up to a rating of perceived exertion around 8 out of 10. And if he hasn't, he needs to complete an additional circuit. We're really trying to get him to get nice and warm and well prepared for this workout because we want to bash him around a bit in here. We're encouraging him to do the full range of motion within the warm-up, and then again the 2-1-2 tempo, which is sort of 2 with a positive phase, pause, and then 2 with the lifting phase. So here we've got his, and this warm-up should take 5 to 8 minutes. So again, you can control that time frame there. Okay, so his first exercise here is bent over rows. We're not going to be too concerned about these exercises because for the purpose of this template, obviously yours will be always different than ours. But what's in here is the tempo, and we always use tempo because it's a very effective way to manage an individual and the overload that you're prescribing for them in resistance training. So it also keeps them nice and safe, and if you're going to do a lot of eccentric training in the future, you can, they'll start to understand what that means in terms of tempo and so on. So 2-1-2, which is a 5-second rep. 6 to 8 reps, which means 6 slots of 5 seconds is 30, 8 is 40, so 30 to 40 seconds worth of work with 90 seconds rest. So it's a 1 to 3 work rest ratio. And he's going to do 3 sets there. Now in here we get them to write in, if they're training independently at all, write in the loads as they change them. So as they progress, they write in those progressions. You can see here I've put PT for these first 2 workouts because my job as a personal trainer with John in this instance is going to be taking him through this twice on the Monday and the Thursday and getting him some baseline weights where I'll be cueing his technique, making sure he's sticking to the tempos, making sure he's doing everything just right, so that in John's instance, when he does some independent training over the following weeks, we'll be good to go. He'll have a really good technique and he'll understand how to progress. Now, the beauty of this is when you actually look in and when you check in on this client's file, you can see the numbers written in, and you can actually work out really quickly if John's progressing things, and you can see any exercise that's being left behind. So for instance, if John progresses bent over rows, squats and assisted chins in this first 3 weeks say, and you came in and the lunges hadn't gone anywhere, then you would have a reason to get hold of John and actually get him back into the club and look at what's happening with his lunges, because they should have progressed. Or it could be an exercise he doesn't like, so in his progress review you may want to actually adjust the sort of exercise that he's doing there. Cool down here, stretches, full knee down lunge stretch, back over Swiss ball stretch, chest in the doorway stretch, and a lat stretch, holding high up on a machine. Each stretch 20 to 30 seconds holding, 2 to 3 times through in circuit fashion, so one stretch after another, 4 to 6 minutes worth of cool down. So if you look at this total workout here, each set in here is a minute and a half plus, say, a half minute, so it's 2 minutes, so 3 lots of that, 6 minutes, 12 minutes. You're talking about another 4 minutes in here. Yeah, so he's going to be getting through this particular workout in probably 30 minutes, and then warm up and cool down, probably 45 total. So the one nice thing about using time under tension and sets, again, getting this work rest ratio stuff, is you kind of can really understand how long this workout would take. One of the pitfalls for a lot of trainers that are out there creating these large programs that are really difficult for clients to follow through on because they're too time intensive. And this in particular is using quite a few compound exercises, and it's an all over body type thing. So that's just an example of how this template works. I do really encourage you to use it in a similar way, and obviously you'll be able to adapt it to your own needs over time, but we've found that using this type of prescription technique, where really the focus is on what is the goal, what are the guidelines, and then what am I seeing in terms of progressions, gets your clients the best results in the shortest time possible. Okay, good luck with the template, and thanks for using it.